Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you are well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more r/am I the butthole. And if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, that subscribe, and maybe that notification bell too. And let's dive into today's first story. Now, today's first story comes from Coy Sparrows, who says, "Am I the arsehole for making fun of my partner's hair loss?" Title sounds bad, I know. This has been an ongoing argument between my partner and I for almost 6 months now. I feel like I'll never hear the end of it. Backstory. I, 23 female, am a naturally fair-skinned girl. I'm also cursed with pretty dark body hairs, which makes upkeep a complete pain. I shave my legs and 2 days later I have dark prickles of hair that I can't shave again for 1.5 weeks or so without causing some pretty painful razor burn. It is something that has bothered me for a long time, as it takes away a lot of my freedom in the warmer seasons and I have to pick and choose what events I can go show my legs at. This year I was invited to go with my 28 male partner to his family's Christmas Day lunch, which I was pretty excited for. A few days before the lunch, my partner and I were also invited to a New Year's Day pool party at his friend's place. Southern Hemisphere for anyone confused here. Of course, this filled me with dread because I knew by this point my legs would be freaking terrible in a swimsuit. I decided to go to both and found a gorgeous summer maxi dress to wear for New Year's Day. I thought I'd just relax by the pool on the banana lounge and also help the host organize the barbecue lunch. After the lunch, I was laying out with a few of the other ladies, while our partners were all mucking about in the pool doing cannonballs. My friend's partner, 25 male, asked why I wasn't swimming, and I let him know that I just wasn't feeling like it that day and I'd rather lay in the shade. At this point my partner got back out of the pool and I assumed he was going to jump back in like usual. Instead, he came over to me, lifted up the bottom of my dress revealing my legs and exclaimed, "She isn't swimming today because she is hairy as a fucking bear." I grabbed my dress and pulled it back down quite embarrassed and shot him a very angry look. There was a few chuckles but mostly awkward silence. I was mortified. He knows how self-conscious I am about this. In my anger, I then bit back and said, "Maybe we can transplant some of my leg hair to that nice bald patch you've been brewing." This was also met with a few chuckles, followed by even more awkward silence. My partner then stormed off from the pool and went inside to get dry. He got changed into his dry clothes and came out and said that we are leaving. I felt really bad, especially for the host, so I apologized to them and said they could keep my salad bowls I had brought over. My partner and I have never spoken about his hair loss before. When I said this, I did know that it likely bothered him, being that I found photos on his phone of him taking pictures of the top of his head, where the hair loss has started. I just felt like it was hypocritical that he could create that whole situation, and my insecurity wasn't off limits but his is. I know I didn't handle myself the best here. Am I the arsehole? Edit. Wow, this seriously blew up. Thanks to all the lovely women who took the time to leave some tips or to open up to me in DMs. I couldn't fit this in the post, but I just had my 4th laser hair removal session and my legs are already remotely hairless. I have a few sporadic patches where I still get really thin hair and some hair follicles still haven't dropped. I have 6 sessions left, so I would have to say it's a successful story. In regards to my partner, I'm going to try and have an open conversation with him one more time. My intention is to either communicate and clear the air or I will be leaving him. I won't be telling him that second part obviously lol. Not sure if I should show this to him yet. And we're going to start straight away with Purple People Eater, who says, "Not the arsehole, why are you dating someone who intentionally publicly humiliates you?" Bill says, "Not the arsehole, your partner lost all expectation of courtesy when he pulled that stunt. Does he do that sort of thing often? At the least, this warrants a serious chat." OP replies saying he doesn't. I'm thinking that maybe alcohol could have been a factor. He wasn't drunk by any means, but he had drank a couple that day, which is an infrequent thing for him. To this day, he still refuses to seek medical assistance for the hair loss, which is ironic in itself because the sooner you address it, the more likely it can be reversed. He is still so young and it's just a circular patch at the crown. Alex says, "Not the arsehole, don't dish it out if you can't take it in return." I'm assuming he thought he was just teasing, even though he should have been aware it was a hurtful subject. And if he meant it to be mean rather than a joke, then you would have much bigger issues. OP said there is no way in hell he thought I'd find that funny. But maybe, if given him the benefit of the doubt, he could have thought I wouldn't be that bothered by it. I don't know. I've cried about it to him before. For the longest time, I've had to choose between social events and shortened vacations just because of this. He definitely knows how much it bothers me. Lynn Harris says, not the arsehole, I laughed out loud at your response. It was perfect. You need a new boyfriend. He intentionally went out of his way to point out that your legs are hairy as a bear, thinking it funny, and then when you give it back the absolute perfect response, he couldn't handle it. It really seems like he has an issue with you not shaving more frequently. Tell him to shave his legs every day, see how it makes his skin feel. Arseholes like him are why I enjoy being single. It is never okay to poke fun at something they don't know the other person is sensitive about, but when they do, you have a perfect response. Lol. But new boyfriend. One that accepts your hairy legs. Nothing wrong with a little hair. No double standards or anything, right? Shake my head. Clarky Shark says, I'm gonna go with you are both the assholes in this situation. You were both out of line and embarrassed each other in front of your friends, at a party no less. You both chose what you knew was a weak point for the other and used it against them. You disrespected each other. I do understand that your response was a reaction to being hurt by him in the first place, but there is a saying that fits perfectly here. An eye for an eye makes the whole world go blind. Bright Copper Kettle says everyone sucks here for being inconsiderate of each other, but especially for being that embarrassing couple who ruins a friendly gathering. Why make everyone suffer through the awkwardness? Future Ear replies that saying, agreed, everyone sucks here. He acted like a stupid teenager, but OP's response was as immature and embarrassing as his joke. He humiliated her in public for the laughs, and she publicly and intentionally targeted his sensitive spot to get an instant retribution. Would it be that hard to forcefully laugh and talk to him in private like an adult? I know you didn't mean to hurt me, but I felt really humiliated and violated when you lifted my dress and joked about my legs in front of our friends. Could you please never joke about my body hair again? But now we're going to move to the update to see what happened next. So, update for everyone. I sat him down when we both finished work and he came over just a little over an hour ago. It was a very short conversation. I started the conversation by stating that I would like to clear the air and resentment in the relationship. His response to this was, are you going to finally apologize? I just about died inside. I asked him what I should be apologizing for and he said the comments I made about his hair at the New Year's party. I then suggested that perhaps we should apologize in sequence of events, so he should go first. Lol. He said that there is no way he is apologizing to me after what I said because I crossed a line. I asked him what about him crossing the line with my boundaries and humiliating me. He said it isn't the same because I could have just shaved it off and be done with it, whereas his situation could be permanent. I said that my situation would have remained permanent if I didn't do something about it. He then went quiet and started to shut down, telling me he doesn't want to talk. I told him I don't want his company if he can't have an adult open conversation with me. He left. I will be dumping him tomorrow. I didn't sign adoption papers. I never wanted this man baby. Now, what do you guys think of this situation? Do you think OP was okay to retaliate in the way they did? Or do you agree with some of the other comments, retaliating in another way isn't the way to go about it? How would you have dealt with that situation? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below and let's move on to another story. And our next story comes from a throwaway account who says, am I the asshole for not inviting my mother's boyfriend to my wedding? My mother's boyfriend of 15 years is the worst human being imaginable. He is nasty, condescending, homophobic, racist, and speaks to everyone like they are too. Because I went to university and my sister didn't, he calls her the dumb one. And at the same time, he talks to me like I am stupid and my degree and insurance broking job means nothing. He's even worse with my fiance, where he has called him fat to his face numerous times, called him stupid, a dickhead, and goes out of his way to talk to him in a baby voice. This has been going on for the 6 years my fiance and I have been together, to the point my fiance feels like utter shit when he is around, and my mother's boyfriend to the point he hates family gatherings and does anything to avoid going. Anyway, I, 22 turning 23 female, were cut forward to the issue I am having. Basically, my fiance, 23 turning 24 male, has said that under no circumstances will we invite my mother's boyfriend, and to be honest, I don't want him to attend either. My fiance has point blank said if he is invited there won't be a wedding and he'd rather elope. The reason is that he does not want to feel like shit at his own wedding, and I believe everyone should have the right to be comfortable at their own wedding. I knew this would cause problems, but my fiance's reasons are valid, and I share his concerns about my mother's boyfriend ruining our entire moods. Also, as his partner and future wife, I should stand by him, within reason. So, I told my mother. She screamed that she's been with him for 15 years. They still don't live together, that you don't just not invite people's partners, that I should stand behind basic principles, that I am being selfish and deliberately hurting her. She also said she would be embarrassed if her boyfriend didn't come, especially when my dad and stepmom would be there. To counter her, I said the reasons that I gave and listed all the times that her partner has gone out of his way to insult my fiance and I. I said this is not about her, but rather that her boyfriend's actions have burned bridges with my fiance. Although I don't want him there, I would be more willing to compromise, but this isn't just about me. And this is also my fiance's wedding, and he is entitled to not be angry, irritated, and upset during it. My mother then called my fiance controlling, that she won't be coming and that when we break up, I will have no one as my family. She also said that no one in the family has ever liked my fiance, that he isn't right for me, we should break up, etc. She has got her side of the family agreeing with her. However, my stepdad and stepmother and step-siblings are firmly with me. Now, my mother's side of the family is calling me an arsehole for being cruel and unreasonable, while my dad's side is saying, stick to my guns and don't let her get her own way. All I have been doing is crying since. Am I the arsehole? Edit. Okay, obviously I need to grow a backbone and stand as a united front. I know why I handled it the way I did, which is still no excuse. Prior to this, I was very close with my mother, and would normally talk twice a week and would always go for advice and opinions. I really wanted to preserve my relationships. As it is, I can't have it all, and I choose my fiance over my toxic family. For context, for 4 years my fiance have lived 4 hours from home, and he has probably only seen the family, I think it is, once or twice in those 4 years. I've always let him not come to family gatherings because of my mother's boyfriend, but I made excuses for it to my family instead of just saying the reason. Additionally, my mother calling my fiance controlling and picking flaws is not new, but in this instance, she really made it known. Much of the stuff I said in this post, I haven't said to my mother, especially willing to compromise. The reason I was willing to compromise is that the rest of the family doesn't see the boyfriend's behavior as bad as what we see. Now that I have other opinions, I know that contacts need to be cut. I'm glad I made this post when I did. This argument is just the beginning, and going forward, this will be we and not just my fiance. And we do have an update to this post in a moment. What an absolute arsehole that guy is, and your mum's been with him for 15 years while he's treated you, your sister, your fiance like absolute shit. Called him fat, called him stupid, a dickhead, and talked to him in a baby voice, and you said this has been going on for 6 years. To the point your fiance's been bullied, to the point he feels like utter shit whenever he's around him and doesn't want to be around him and avoids going to family gatherings. And I kind of want to say, like, isn't everyone sucks here from that point of view, that you didn't back him up to that point. 6 years this has been going on, and you've been like sort of making excuses why he wouldn't attend family events, rather than just say, you know, because he's being fucking treated like shit by that idiot over there. But I know from me just sat here in a chair in front of a microphone, that's a very easy thing for me to say, as you've been dealing with this arsehole and your mother enabling this arsehole for the past 15 years. And it's like your edit said when you're talking about contacts needing to be cut. What value do these people bring to your life? What's your mum bringing to your life? She's enabling this guy, the guy that's treating everyone like absolute crap. He absolutely is a negative influence on you. Why would you want to ever be around him? And again, I know it's very easy for me to say, sat here saying, you know, you need to cut contact, because it's never that easy, is it? Although occasionally we do see people that's just like, yeah, I cut them all out, been done with it. But it's not always that easy. But yeah, absolutely do not have anyone at your wedding that you don't want there. And I wouldn't have your mother there either, the way she reacted to it. called your fiance controlling. She said that no one in the family has ever liked fiance and then got all the rest of the family, her side, to agree with it. Well, sod it then. None of them can come. Simple as that. I wouldn't have him there. The way they're calling him controlling instantly, absolutely not. Bloody hell, getting hot under the collar on this one. But we're going to cover the update first, and then we're going to go back to the comments because the update was made in the same post, so some of the comments will be reacting to the update as well. So update says, so my mother called me today, and surprisingly the conversation was very calm. She agreed that she won't bring her boyfriend to the wedding and that she understands that her boyfriend has been very nasty, and even worse around my fiance. I thanked her for coming to this decision and said we do want her there, but we do need to set boundaries. I said it isn't just my fiance, that I want to rephrase what I said. I then said we both don't want him there, and from now on I want boundaries enforced and to go low contact with her boyfriend and no contact with her boyfriend and my fiance. She quietly agreed, which absolutely shocked me. I will no longer tolerate the verbal abuse my fiance and I have been subjected to. I think she is agreeing with me because she realized that she would lose her daughter otherwise. I want to try and have a relationship with my mum if I can, as long as she respects our boundaries. I guess we will see if she sticks to her word. We still have 18 months until the wedding. In the meantime, I think I will still limit my contact with that side of the family, which is easier for us as we live 4 hours from them and only see them at most twice a year. I'm also considering to go to therapy because I need a better perspective about the dynamic of my relationship with my mother. And Lost in Holt says not the arsehole for not inviting him for sure, but maybe a tiny bit for throwing your fiance in as a tiebreaker here. I gotta ask what you are getting from your mum's presence in your life because she and her boyfriend sound toxic. Might be time to go low contact or no contact, which OP replies saying thank you. Can you elaborate on what you mean by tiebreaker? I might have an idea, meaning that I would be willing to compromise and my partner not, in which case I haven't divulged that information to her. In any case, I am thinking low contact at the very least. Lost in Holt replies that saying, I mean that you wrote that this was also your fiance's wedding, which it 100% is, but bringing him into it gives her ammo against him and redirects her focus. When it sounds like this should be just you not having him there at your wedding, it's not about your fiance not wanting him there and you wanting him there. It's the both of you, and from your post it sounds like your mum just thinks it's him. I don't think it's bad, I just think it should be firmly said that it doesn't matter who you marry, her boyfriend will not be at your wedding. Bendy Toe Pilot says not the arsehole. If your mum wants to stay with a jerk who belittles her own children and other people, that's her choice, but she should accept you don't want anything to do with her. Uninvite her and the family members who are giving you shit. Hego Damask says everyone sucks here. He seems terrible and I wouldn't want him at any gathering. He sucks for obvious reasons. Why I said you suck as well, because this has been going on for 15 years. Like seriously, there should have already been a come to Jesus moment with your mother. He treats your sister poorly, you, and now your fiance. This shouldn't have been going on for so long. Stick to your guns, but really try to understand how this was able to continue for so long. OP replies saying, yep, I understand, I have been complacent. I'm 23, so for many years I was a child when they were together, but it doesn't excuse all those years. It's just hard with her being my mother because I do still love her, but I know something needs to be done. Panacolard says not the arsehole. If your mother will be embarrassed to show up to your wedding alone, perhaps she ought to take stock of the sort of man she's thrown her lot in with. Arriving alone isn't embarrassing. Watching a man bully and verbally abuse your children and their spouses is embarrassing. Not standing up for her own children is embarrassing. Him not be invited, not embarrassing in the slightest. Have your wedding with or without your mother. Quite frankly, she doesn't deserve to attend and share in your special day. Let her stay home with a foolish boyfriend. Dubious people pleaser says everyone sucks here. You for not having your fiance's back. You basically threw him under the bus by saying it was what he wanted instead of what you both wanted. Your mum for defending her arsehole boyfriend, and of course the boyfriend for obvious reasons. And one more from Oh Wow who says everyone sucks here except your fiance. Your mother sucks for being a toxic maniac who screams that somebody's being selfish on their wedding day. Her boyfriend sucks, well, yeah, he sounds horrific. You suck for the way you phrased this post / the statement to your mother. It's all phrased like you throw him under the bus all the time. It's his wedding. He doesn't want boyfriend there. You don't either. Don't throw him under the bus to save your ass. Now, what do you guys make of this situation? Do you think it's one of those ones where you cut contact with that side of the family or not? Would you be able to find a different way around it? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. As always, love to hear them. And just a huge thank you from the bottom of my heart for getting involved in today's stories. Your love, support, and time always means the absolute world to this channel. Blows me away every single day, and I can never get enough of it. So thank you so much, and hopefully I will see you in the next one. Take care, guys. Much love.
Wake up, get up, stretch my legs, eat some breakfast, milk and eggs, brush my teeth up, wash my face, throw my clothes on, start my day. Wake up, I can smell the smoke from the bacon. Let's go, see the sun shining from the windows. Okay, I know that today